Hi everyone. Um, Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Want to share me out? Share me out. I'm gonna wait till everybody come in and we're gonna have this discussion. Um, whew. Um, hey Reese, how are you? How are you today? Y'all, I'm going to pin something to my Facebook and to my YouTube. Share me out. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the Real World podcast. Make sure you go, hey Trisha, how are you? Make sure you go subscribe to the Real World WHIRL podcast. Um, because we'll all credit goes to him, and I can't even I can't even this man, he bagged this interview for sure. Um, he definitely bagged this interview, and he deserves all the credit for this. And I did reach out to him and spoke with him, and he told me that I could use the interview information, the his interview, and talk about it and share it with you guys and show it to you guys and do my commentary on it. So I do appreciate him for allowing me to do that. About my interview on yesterday, guys, I have put that interview on private and I'm going to remove it off Facebook. Um, I don't know for sure from it's he I'm doing some research on that interview. Um, I am going to uh put that interview on private due to the fact that I don't know how uh from what I was told, I don't know how for sure if that person was really her cellmate. So I have to get that verified. And he should be reaching out to me soon because he has direct contact with her. So I don't want to be putting out stuff and people be, let's have some integrity. Don't I'm not no clout chaser like that. Y'all know how I am. I ain't like that. Hey, Delilah, how are you? I ain't no cloud chaser like that. I'm not gonna be putting out false information and all that right there until it's verified. Um, and I don't do no clown shit. So, um, I don't do no clown shit. So, you know what I'm saying? That video will be on private till I find out for sure if that's true. Until then, the shit is on private. So, but I know this interview is the real interview. This is Mitchelle um, interviewing with the Real World podcast about um, her thoughts on the interview or the series that Gabby did about. Oh, this it's all good and then oh yeah, I didn't, but I spoke with him. See, someone and shout out to that person that um shout out to that person that had commented on my live that I did and said go check out the Real World podcast. So I checked him out and I sent him something, just to show him give him a little more information that I found. Because y'all, when I get into stuff, y'all know that I dig, and I dig deep. I done found the brother, and I done found other stuff too. But me and him had a conversation not today, and he's going to look into that for me and ensure that is verified. Y'all need to check him out because he do good work. He is one of those. His podcast is directed towards people that have served time in prison and need a voice for their side of the story, not from the media side, but from their side. So it's if y'all ever heard of Tamara, I forgot her name, Tamara Mitchell from back in the '90s. Some massacre. He did an interview with her, and he done did an interview with Mitchelle. So he told me that he'll allow me to use his content, and so we're gonna do a part one and a part two. Hey Anastasia, how you doing? So we're going to listen to this, y'all. I'm gonna say this. Now I done heard both interviews. Um, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It is very graphic, and you're gonna hear stuff that is very disturbing. But we're gonna talk about it. That was nice of him, and I appreciate it. He was like, "You can use his content." He was like, "You can use my content." So, so make sure you guys, what I have his name pinned up. Go ahead right now and go subscribe to his channel. Comment that Monica sent you, and um click on the link, go subscribe to his channel, turn the bell on because he will be interviewing Mitchelle again sometime this week to get live question calls from the audience. Look, turn it off, Reese. Turn it off till I get to where you went. To answer any for her to answer any questions that we have. So make sure you guys go subscribe to him and turn the bell on. Make sure you go subscribe to him and turn the bell on because you guys he does do good work. Hold on, let me get to the interview first. He did two parts, so it's a part one and a part two. And he's a little bit. I noticed that he was a little bit disturbed on all that too. So you know what I'm saying, like it can be very disturbing when you hear things like this. So I want to give you guys fair warning before we, continue on. Hey Anastasia, how are you? So she's gonna have things she wants to say to her kids. She's gonna have things that she said she feels that Gabby lied. She said Gabby lied about, but I don't know. Like I still believe that the little boy didn't get touched. But here we go, y'all. Just know that I do not all rights
Introduce you in
reserved to
to the audience, and so the
the Real World
audience,
podcast.
know
Is
who.
this live?
No, we're not live at all. No, we're gonna
Oh,
no, we're gonna do everything. We're gonna record it, and then we're gonna put it
okay.
out. Put it out that way.
Okay, I
So,
got it.
but
Okay.
I'm letting you, like I say, I'm not going to chop any of your words up.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna let you
I appreciate it.
say what you need to say. Get everything off your
I
chest.
appreciate it.
It's gonna be some people kind of upset and mad, but you
Oh, I know. It don't matter. I
you
don't care about them.
okay, that's right, because you gotta be able to speak your truth. Okay, so I'm finna bring you in.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing,
Okay.
Real World Podcast family? I have a special guest on the phone, Miss Michelle Blair. For everyone who doesn't know who Michelle Blair is, Michelle Blair is the mother who was convicted of killing her son and daughter and putting them in a freezer and living in her home with these two dead bodies in the freezer.
So,
How are you doing, Michelle?
bye.
I'm good.
Okay.
Just a little pissed, but I'm good.
Okay. Michelle, tell my
Yes.
audience
That's as far as it
the
goes.
name of your two children, the deceased children that were in the freezer.
I don't even want to say their names. I don't even
Okay.
want to say their names. I'm pretty sure they know their names, but
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Most definitely. Okay. Well, Michelle,
yeah.
there's a documentary going on with your older daughter. And
Yeah, and I heard about that, and this is the reason why I called you because I want to speak directly to my daughter, and I have no other avenue to speak to her. Um, and I want to talk to my son.
Okay. So, which one would you like to address first?
My daughter. My daughter.
Okay, Michelle. Go ahead and address your daughter.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Gabby, I want to start by saying I heard about your interview that you did, and I can't take anything away from your experience. Was I an evil ass mother? I was. You talked about how I hit you with a belt buckle. I did. How I chipped your tooth with a curling iron. I did. Everything is factual. I have no excuse for it, and for me to apologize to you at this point would be an insult to you, Gabby. Okay? The only reason I'm calling in, like honestly, I was content to live the rest of my days in this prison until I died. I was never going to get on and do an interview or say anything else because I don't want to fan the flames for your little brother or you, out of respect for you and him. But I'm going to give you everything else that you said in that interview about how horrible of a mother I am because I can't take that away from you. So I'm going to give you that validation, Gabby, because I was raised damn near the same way you were, always getting hit on just for no damn reason sometimes. Okay? And I know how that feels. You want to be heard and you want somebody to know what happened to you. I can't take that away from you. I did that. So I'm going to validate that. I did that. There's no excuse for that. I am that monster. I did that, Gabby. But with that being said, you know me. Just like I'm your mother, I am your little brother's mother. Now, what you will not do, in my eyes, you came for your little brother on national TV, Gabby. When you said that you don't know if that happened to Matthew, when you said that you don't know, that was a slap in the face to him.
Michelle.
I don't even want to be on here. I don't want to be on here talking to you like this, but we don't talk, and it's the only way I was able to do this. You know I would come back from hell to defend Matthew and what happened to him. You lied, Gabby, when you said that I pressured him to say something he didn't want to say. You know that's not how that happened. So what we going to do, if you want to talk about it, we going to talk about it, honey. I didn't see that boy with no toys. I come home from work first one day, and what did you do? You the first thing running up to me. You told me, Ma, I told Steven to go upstairs to his room because I didn't know what to do with him. I said, what that little nigga done? You said, come see what Matthew was doing with his WrestleMan dolls. I asked Matthew when I got in the living room, what were you doing with your WrestleMan dolls, Matty? He said, I don't want to do it. So I looked at you and I said, just tell me what he was doing. What the fuck is going on? You told me he had one WrestleMan face down and the other WrestleMan humping on the other WrestleMan. And you asked him, did anybody ever do that to you? And you told me that he said Steven did that to him. So that's why you sent him up to his room. Because you didn't know what to do. So, what I'm saying is, on a national level, since I've been arrested, I've been having people speculate whether that even happened to my little baby. So how dare you lie about how I found out that they were raping him? You didn't forget, Gabby. I know you didn't forget. And the fact that you said that I was pressuring him to say something he didn't want to say, that is bullshit. My thing is, if you would have came out and did this interview and would have never mentioned my son, I would not be on here right now. But you know me, and I do not play when it comes to that rape shit. So I guess you conveniently forgot that Maddie was the same one who led us to them bloody infant socks that they shoved up his ass to clog up some of the blood that was coming out of his ass, right? You forgot that? Or did you forget how he was crying and telling us what they did to him? Did you forget how he was saying he ran around in the middle of the night trying to throw shit at us to wake us up because Steven was chasing his ass? Or did you forget after they was dead, Matthew came alive? Matthew became a whole new little boy when they died. And that is only because he didn't have to worry about getting fucked on no more in his sleep. So when I tell you But Gabby, I am sorry for everything I've ever done to you, honey. But you said in that interview that I felt remorse. You misunderstood. I don't feel remorse for killing them. I feel remorse for everything I've done to you because I was not shit as a mother. In the interview that I did in Wayne County, they asked me, was I a good mother? I had too much pride to say, no, I was not. But I done dropped all that shit. I was not a good mother. Okay? But what you will not do is come for your brother on national TV. It's one thing when random people speculate, oh, did them kids really do that to him? That's bullshit. Gabby, you was there. You know what happened. It takes it to a whole new level. Your little brother is gonna see your interview. How you think he gonna feel when he see you saying that I pressured him to say something he didn't want to say? How do you think he's going to feel when he see you on national TV doubting what happened to him? You knew I was coming, Gabby. You knew I was not gonna be quiet about this. I'm not playing about my son, and you know that. I love that boy more than anything in this earth, and you know this about me. This is why your brother and sister are dead now. I can't take nothing away from you. I am sorry I killed them in front of you. I know that shit fucked you up, and it scarred you for life. But Gabby, I am not sorry I killed them.
Okay, Michelle, can I ask you a question? Now,
I really want to talk to. I gotta talk to
go.
my
Like she's still trying. I feel like she's still trying to control Gabby's mind through, her through her talking, and what she's saying is that Gabby is downplaying what happened to her brother, and it's infuriating her. Yes, I noticed that the sock thing is a new thing, and for her to not have any remorse, you know, you know, that I guess is not surprising. But you know, like I said before, reading the documents that I found, reading the listening to Gabby's side, and listening to what she told the judge before this interview, only thing Michelle has told the truth about is the abuse. That is exactly, she didn't lie about the abuse at all and what she has done. And she is admitting that she was an ain't shit mama because she was wrong. If she can, in her mind, in her body, in her spirit, know that she was wrong for what she did, then it may take time, it may take work, but it may take God just changing her. But eventually, I feel like maybe down the road when she get old and realize that she want to be out this cage, I don't know, because there's no way that saying Stoney slept in the room with Gabby, and what's the little boy name, um the middle, the oldest boy slept in the room with the youngest child. So this is going. Let's listen in. Um, Child, let's just listen in a little more. I definitely want to say that I do feel like she is very angry, and she still believes. She still says that this has happened. Is there any proof? We don't know, but we do know it's proof of the abuse. We do know, that not only did, but this is my thing from reading the documents and all that, that not only did, since Matthew was the youngest child was the favorite, why would she abuse him too if he was the one that was being SA? You get what I'm saying? Let's listen.
son
Go,
right quick. I have
go,
to
go
say
ahead.
this.
Talk to your son. Talk to your son. Go ahead.
To my little son, I want to tell you, I love you, And I remember your pain and your tears. I remember you telling me everything they did to you. I remember them admitting what they did to you. So if don't nobody else know what they did to you, Maddie, I, me, you, and God knows what happened to you. So fuck everybody else. Even if it's your sister, your auntie, your uncle, whoever is doubting what happened to you, fuck them. I know what happened to you, and you were important enough for me to kill them for what happened to you. I will never allow anybody to downplay what happened to you, little boy. You hear me? I love you so much, Matthew, and I miss you every day. And I want to go back to Gabby for a second and tell her that I wish I did not have to get on here, but I could not let this go. Gabrielle, you have the luxury of not knowing how it feels to be raped, to have somebody inside your body and you don't want them there. You have the luxury of not knowing how that feels. Okay? So you do not know how it feels to be a rape victim and have someone speculate on whether it happened to you or not. You don't know how that feels. I know how that feels. I know exactly how it feels. And I will never let my son down when it comes to that issue. But as far as everything else that you said in your interview, from the little bit that I hear, yes, I was an abusive ass bitch to you. You know, sometimes people who fucked up and have unresolved issues, then they start having kids without resolving those issues, sometimes they turn out to be fucked up human beings. And Gabby, it just so happened you got a mama that was a fucked up human being, and I am sorry that you had me for a mother. I am sorry. Okay, I really mean that.
You have 1 minute remaining.
But you were wrong for what you did on that fucking television, doubting your brother on national TV. And the only reason that you said it was never proven, they never gave him a rectal exam, is what you're not saying. No one examined him. So, honey, fuck the world. That happened to my baby. And you know it happened. So how dare you do that on national TV to that boy? I'm going to defend him to the end.
Okay, Michelle, this says we got 1 minute to go. So are you gonna call back after we disconnect? Cause you can call back.
I will.
I have money on my phone, and
I
you can
will.
call.
I
And
will.
I'm gonna let you, finish, talking to your son.
Okay, so let me say this. I am glad that she acknowledged that she didn't deal with her trauma while she what I'm saying is I'm glad that she dealt with her trauma. She didn't deal with her trauma, and she admits that she did project that on her children, and it ended up affecting her because she never dealt with it or got counseling or dealt with it, and it ended up affecting her mentally. And she may not admit it all the way, but this has a lot to do with everything that has happened. So let me just let this continue to play. I'm gonna shut up.
And then talking to Gabby, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions in between, but I want to let you get it off, get everything off your chest and say what you have to say.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll be waiting on your call back, Michelle. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard live was Michelle Blair, the mother who killed her two children, Stony and Steven, placed them in a freezer for 2 years and lived in her home with these two children, ladies and gentlemen. You've never ever seen me this quiet, where I'm like really just putting my hands over my mouth, over my face, because I'm pretty much in shock of what I'm hearing and how it's going down. I'm going to ask her questions because she got very graphic in
I understand,
explaining
Trisha.
the situation of killing these kids. And as a grandfather, as father, it kind of it cringes me, to listen to her do that, because I could never do that to neither one of my grandchildren. And I
I'm
just,
just gonna let it play.
I feel real bad for those kids and Gabby and everybody else. Um, ladies and gentlemen, um, I'm telling you guys, I'm back, and I've been you guys the link to it,
Hold on just a second.
and
Let me
you
Ron Valley Facility. If you feel you're being victimized or extorted by this prisoner, please contact GTL Customer Service at 855-466-2832. To accept this free call, press 0. To refuse this free call, hang up or press 1. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using
I know.
GTL.
hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. They say that wasn't 30, but I guess it was. I don't know, 'cause I got
It
money.
wasn't. I used
Yeah, like I
I
said,
used another pen to go ahead and call.
okay, but like I said, if you need, like I said, I got money on my
So
phone.
this is just 15.
Right.
So I don't know what to do. Like
Don't just
this is just 15 minutes. Was
get
that 15 minutes?
get somebody to show you how to after we done with this part, get someone to show you how to call me direct, collect.
Oh, how do I call him direct? He got money on his phone. How do I call him direct? Yeah, press 0. It's giving us promotional calls. Yeah, I did press 0. It's giving us promotional calls. So that's 15 minutes, right? Yeah, yeah. This how you. This the only way it's able to do it is to push 0.
Okay. Well, let's get back
Yeah,
off into it. Okay. Now, Michelle, in this
yeah.
documentary, I was watching Gabby. Gabby said that she felt forever she would feel bad and haunted, and she feels sorry for helping you do what you did to Stony by helping you put Stony in the freezer and helping you put Steven in the freezer. And she said the most important part she felt bad about Steven because Steven was still alive and Steven
That's not true.
suffered.
She got that part mixed up. That's not true. Stephen was dead. Stephen didn't suffer. Stephen was dead. But my thing is this:
Mm-hmm.
through everything, what about my little son? Like, don't nobody give a fuck about him. He was suffering. He was suffering. They fucked him in his own bed. Like, I don't care what no other mother or father or uncle or auntie on this earth got to say about me. I'm standing 10 toes down for defending my child. You do not fuck your brother. That rape shit, I'm not playing with that shit. If you a human being that can rape somebody else, you need to die. That's how I feel. But far as Steven suffering, now he suffered. I tortured his ass for an entire week, same as I did Stony.
Okay, we gonna
They slowly tortured Matthew. I enjoyed every bit of blood that was coming out of their face, chest, whatever, because they enjoyed blood that came out of his ass. So can't nobody tell me nothing about having remorse for them. I don't have remorse for them. I have remorse for killing them in front of my daughter because that shit scarred her for life. But I do not have remorse for killing them. To me, that was my son's closure. If they can fuck on you, then you can watch them motherfuckers die. And that's how I feel.
okay. Michelle, Gabby said that
Yes.
you bust Stony in the head with an object and blood squirted out of her head, and she said that you were like in cheer. You were cheering about that. Is that true?
Well, I didn't bust her on the head. I hit her in the head with a wooden beam.
Mm-hmm.
It was her brow, the part under your eyebrow.
Yes.
It was her brow. And it broke through the skin. I guess the bone broke through her skin. And I did. I laughed. I chuckled at that shit. I did. I don't know about the cheering. That's debatable. But yes, I did. I was at my most evil. I was not crazy. And I want my son, Matthew, to understand. I was not crazy. I was not out of my mind. I was very clear on what I did
Man,
when
don't
I
touch my
did
shit
it.
on that.
And I did that shit for him because he deserves to see that.
Okay.
When somebody does something like that to you, you deserve what you got coming, period. That's not, now am I saying it's normal? No, that's not no normal shit to kill your children. No, I do not think it's normal. Do I think it's right? No, the fuck I don't. It's not normal and it's not right to kill your kids. But I do not regret it. How the fuck was I supposed to make Matthew whole again? What was I supposed to do? Send him somewhere to a psychiatrist? If your pussy, your dick get wet for a child, or when you raping somebody, you need to go. There's something wrong with you. You need to die. The fact that they was able to do that shit, and for however long they did it for, I still don't know. But that is, at the end of the day, that's my son. All these other mothers and fathers and whoever else, they can choose to deal with how, let somebody fuck their kid, and they can choose to deal with it how they want to deal with it. I dealt with it how the best I knew how. At the end of the day, my son ain't gonna say I let him down. At the end of the day, he knew he was important enough for me to give a fuck about what happened to him. That's a violation that cannot just go with, oh, we putting you in therapy or a group home. The problem is still there. You are a fucking rapist. If you can do that as a kid, get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
I have no remorse for that. And I don't know what to say. I don't know what you want me to say, but I don't have no remorse. And I don't feel bad about not having remorse. You shouldn't have did what you did to my child. But my only thing is, the only reason I'm giving this interview is because, Gabby, how dare you switch these facts? How dare you switch this up? You know what happened to that boy. You know you would have just had this interview. I would let you have that. But you should have never brought Matthew up. And if you did bring him up, you should have been totally factual. You knew I was coming, girl. Come on now. I'm never going to change. You know who your mama is.
Okay.
If I didn't play with my own son and daughter about my baby, you know I'm not going to play with you about this, Gabby. You was dead wrong. You shouldn't have even brought him up. He is in high school. You shouldn't have even did this interview. You could have waited till he was in college, but you didn't even give a damn. But you would not cast doubt on what happened to that boy. Period.
Okay. Michelle, is it true?
Yes.
That you took a sword and you sliced Stoney's
I
vagina?
did. I know exactly what you're saying. You're damn right. You're damn right I did. It was a katana sword, and I told her, oh, since you want to put your pussy on my son's mouth, okay, put your pussy on his knife. I sure did. And I fucking pulled that bitch back and all type of blood came. You're absolutely right. She wanted something in her pussy, I gave her something in it. You damn right.
Okay. I didn't expect you to get that graphic, but this is your floor. I'm giving you the opportunity.
But what I'm saying is,
right.
I ain't never lie. I don't lie about my shit. So this is what I'm trying to get to my daughter. You knew I was going to be 100 with this. So if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. You know how many people been trying to get me to do interviews, and I always hit delete. My JPay be going crazy with people trying to do interviews with me. I push delete. But the fact that my daughter did this, that shit woke me up. You're not going to come for my son. And I call it a betrayal. You betrayed your brother when you said the things that you said. That's not how it happened. Like, I don't understand this. That really bothers me. You know this shit happened to that boy. That shouldn't even been up for discussion.
Okay.
It really bothers me.
I understand. Could you share with the audience of the week of torturing Stoney? What all did you do to Stoney? What all did you do?
Tell them to look. It's all on my interrogation video because I heard these bottom-feeder bastards. They put my interrogation video out there. It's all on there, so they can see it on there.
Okay.
Like I did some of everything to Stoney. I beat the shit out of her. I threw hot water on her ass. I cut her. Everything she deserved. But, Whirl, I want to tell you, I want to take this last bit of time. I want to talk to my baby.
Talk to him.
I just want him to know.
Go ahead.
I just want him to know that I have been trying to call you on a regular basis. Your aunt and your uncle will not allow me to speak to you until you're 18 years old. So just know, baby, I am waiting for you. Whenever you decide to contact me, I'm waiting for you. And just know there's always one person out there who will always love you and always know what happened to you. And I will never doubt you. I have full faith in you. I got full trust in you. I believed you then, and I believe you now. I don't care how much time goes past. That shit still hurts me about seeing you even have to explain to me at 6 years old about what happened to you. Everybody's so concerned about them. I'm concerned about you. I love you. I don't know how much you remember about me. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to look at me like I'm just a crazy bitch too. I don't know. But I know I love you, and that's never going to change. Okay? Matthew, all I can say is I'm sorry because I feel like I wasn't shit as a mother. I should have known what was happening to you. Because hindsight is 2020. Certain things that you was doing, it should have let me know that was happening to you. And I'm sorry that I never picked you up and was just like, Matthew, is anything going on? Like, what is wrong? I never had that talk with you, telling you that people's not supposed to touch you. It's like I dropped the ball all the way around. And I am really sorry. Matthew, I'm so sorry. But all I can say is, like, I fucking love you. And understand this. If anybody even mentions your name in here, I stab the shit out their asses, okay? So people can say I'm crazy or whatever. I don't play when it comes to you. Nobody can even mention your name. And that's fact. And Gabby, as much as I did to you, I do love you. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I'm just a fucked up human being. But the second to the last person that I stabbed in this place is because they mentioned your name. They know that y'all two are off limits. They don't speak on you unless they want to get fucked up. So just know this. Matthew, I didn't play with this shit that happened to you out there, and I don't play with it in here. I don't allow nobody to speak on you. Nobody. Or they know they getting stabbed the fuck up.
How many inmates have you done stabbed since you've been there?
Only three was dumb enough to say something about my son. And one said something about my daughter. So I stabbed the dog shit out their asses. But it's like, I'm where I belong. I see this. I ain't got nothing but rage in me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've had it all while I was a child. So it's like, I used to be sweet and innocent like Gabby too. But it's like somewhere that shit changed. Like I don't know what the fuck happened. When you got unresolved issues and your parents don't help you with shit, so I can't say this to Gabby. You are a stronger person and woman than I ever was. My strength comes from my anger. Your strength comes from being a human being, a decent human being, Gabby. So that makes you stronger than me. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that. At the end of the day, fuck what I did to you. Fuck me. You have to live the rest of your life. Don't let nothing I did to you define the rest of your life, girl. I'm not saying get over it, but what I'm saying is you can get through this shit. You're already a better human being than me. So live the rest of your life, stay in therapy. But as much as you fight not to be like your parents, sometimes you end up like them. And I was fighting not to be like my mother. And look, I popped out worse than her ass. So what I'm telling you is I was proud of you. A couple of years ago when you tell me that you fight every day not to be like me, I was proud of that shit. Because it's really only weak people that can't get through all the bullshit. So in that aspect, I was a weak bitch that I didn't get through all that shit that fucked me up when I was a kid, Gabby. So I'm telling you right now, my strength comes from my anger and my rage. Your strength comes from being a decent human being. And that makes you better than me on any day. Okay? I didn't deserve to be your mama. I didn't deserve to be Matthew's mama. But I just understand.
Were you abused as a child? Is that where the rage came from? Were you abused?
I don't know. Like, no, like when I was a child, like if you're talking about sexually,
physical, sexual.
You're talking about
sexual, physical.
Both.
Okay.
Both. But when I told my mother what the fuck happened to me, this bitch tells me it's over with now. What the fuck you want me to do about it? That's all I got as a kid. So you understand how important that is? And this what kills me. This what kills me about Stoney. I told them. They asked me why.
You have 1 minute remaining.
They asked me why I hate they nana so much, and I told them I was always honest about getting raped when I was a kid. I was always honest about that. I said it's the worst thing you can fucking do to somebody. Like, I know how that shit feels to not have nobody hear you or do something about it. You understand what I'm saying? So for them to turn around and you did that shit to your brother, fuck no. That shit was deliberate. She did that shit, and I don't give a fuck who believe me and who don't. I know what happened to my son, and he knows and God knows, and that's enough. But they had to die. So I just want my son to know that I loved him. And I just love the fuck out of him. And I'm a fucked up human being, but I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to tell him this. No matter who doubts him, I will never doubt you. I am your rock on that situation, Matthew. I got your back on that always. I know what they did to you, and it's not your fault, period. It's my fault for not understanding what was.
Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, y'all. So before we proceed, I hate that Mitchelle is so traumatized. Lord, she has been traumatized since her mother. So basically, it all stems from childhood. We know this, that it all stems from her childhood, that her mom abused her, allegedly. She was sexually essayed and M. And she having dealt with it, her mom didn't believe her. So this was her main focus to, if something, she had it in her mind, if she had already made it in her mind, I believe, that if something ever happened to her child, somebody ever touched them inappropriately, if they do anything to her children, they got to die, because that's what she wanted her mother to do for the persons or people that did it to her. Um, that's why I don't understand. I don't understand the concept, but it just was the middle two. You know, I guess Gabby was the one that babysitted and watched over them. And you know, saying she's gonna have, no matter what, she knows that she's gonna have to live with whatever happened. Do I agree that they should have, you know, the way that she handled this? No. You always see, if you should have called CPS, got them kids in a home to help them with whatever, and then, you know, telling the kids about what happened to you until they're in an appropriate age. Sometimes your children have to be at an appropriate age to understand. This is what I'm thinking. If the kids did do this, and I don't think they did, if she was telling these children, these small children, what all that happened to her, they that's very graphic to tell a child. And that's just how I feel. It's very graphic to tell a child things like that. You have to, when things like that happen to you, when your child is at an appropriate age to understand, when they're at their maybe like 10, 11, 10, maybe 9 or 10 or 11. But you always tell your children, you know, if someone touch you inappropriately or do anything that touch you down in your private area, let mama know. But it has to be an appropriate age. You can't be telling these kids at 5, 6, 7 years old somebody ate you out. I would never tell my children that. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. That is why I decided to do it live with you guys on the phone right here with me live, because I wouldn't have known how to handle doing this interview. She gave, let me, first of all, let me thank Tamara Marshall. Tamara Marshall was the young lady who was involved with the St. Albans Street massacre here in Detroit back in 1991. And she, I told her over a year ago I wanted to interview this woman, and she didn't want to talk. So last night I was laying in my bed, like everybody else, was watching the Evil I Live With interview, and I was watching the daughter's interview. Um, and I didn't think anything of it, but I got a text message from Tamara Marshall's sister. And Tamara Marshall's sister said, Tamara wants to call you now. She wants to talk to you now. And I didn't see that message until this morning. And the call came through. I answered and we talked. And Tamara said that Michelle Blair wanted to talk. She wanted to tell her side of it after hearing her daughter do her interview. Her instructions of, okay, I was like, okay, well, she wanted to open up and she wanted to talk directly to her daughter, talk directly to her son.
Okay,
Thank you for using GTL.
here you go.
Go, yeah, I'm back.
I ain't gonna take all his content.
The tape is still rolling. Is there anything you want to say to your aunt and your uncle who has Matthew?
I don't want to. I don't want to. All I can say, you know, my uncle, thank you for stepping up and being a man in my son's life, because he needed that. He needed structure. And my aunt knows I appreciate her. You understand what I'm saying? But the only thing that I have a problem with is I was never able to speak to him. If he's asking for me, if he wants to talk to his mother, that is his choice. But everybody got to do what they feel is right. At the end of the day, he's growing up. He's a well-functioning boy, and you know I get it. I don't have a right to be a part of that in some ways, but I feel like in some ways he's functional and he's okay because I did something about what happened to him. So at the end of the day, all I can say is thank you to them. But I do resent the fact that they kept me from talking to him. And, you know, I understand me and my daughter probably will never speak again.
Well, let me say this on your daughter's behalf. Now, when she did do the interview, she clearly stated that you reached out to her when she was 24. She said you and her spoke. She said that you cried. You said you were sorry for killing Stoney and Steven, and said that, you know, pretty much like remorse. You was remorseful.
No, I have no remorse for killing them. I have remorse for killing them in front of her. And honestly, I don't even remember saying that. If I did say that, I think I was trying to appease her and kiss her ass and just try to get her to talk to me because I miss my daughter. But it's like I gotta let go of all this bullshit. Like at the end of the day, I don't lie. And if I did say that to her, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, if I'm apologizing, I'm saying I'm sorry to her for her experience in that house. You understand what I'm saying? So it just the only reason I'm calling is because of discrepancies. My thing is this: if you're gonna get on national TV and you're gonna say something, make sure it is fact. It's 100 all the way across the board, especially when it's involving your brother. I just know I would have never got on this interview had she not have brought her brother up. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to downplay what happened to him. Don't switch facts around. That shit fucks with me every day what happened to my son. I am still his mother. And I also got to say, for all the people out in the world who got something to say about me, I'm this evil ass bitch, I'm this and I'm that, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all's opinions, obviously. You can't look at me and tell I don't. I'm going to always be me, and I'm going to always be that boy's mother. So let shit happen to your children. You deal with it how you want to deal with it. I dealt with my grass in my backyard how I want to deal with it. But look at the weeds in y'all own backyard. So while y'all on the internet trolling and I'm in prison living my fucking life, y'all out there worrying about what's going on with me. That's sad. So whoever's against me on this, I don't give a fuck. I really do feel like it's me against the world. And honestly, I'm fine with that. I'm a strong bitch when it comes to shit like that. I don't give a damn. Because honestly, I really don't feel like I was fucking wrong. You understand what I'm saying? That had to happen, period. But all these people, they tall weeds in their backyard, when God come down and he judge all of us, let's take your small weed compared to all the tall weeds that y'all see me exposed for. Let's compare your small sin to my largest sin, which is killing my kids. And I bet you God judges the exact same way. So all you motherfuckers just talking shit about me and I'm this, I'm that, I'm going to get judged the same way you getting judged. So sit your ass down and live your life and don't worry about me. Because we all got the same shit coming, from big sin to small sin. It's all the same.
There's no such thing as a big sin or a small sin. All sins are judged equally.
Exactly.
Right.
But I can say killing your kids, that is some fucked up shit.
Yes.
Like, it's weird. Like, I can honestly say that. Like, I'm not crazy. And this is what bothers me about being in this prison with these bitches. You got pedophiles. You got people who killed their kids, and I can't stand being around them because everybody got a fucking lie. Everybody's just like, oh, they acting like they crazy or they heard voices or they didn't kill their kids, somebody else did it. Bitch, just take your motherfucking, take what you did. That's what I can't stand about people. You killed your kids, you did this out in the world. Stand 10 toes down and say, yes, I did this. You made a choice. Stand behind your goddamn choice. Because at the end of the day, who the fuck gonna do something to you about it? And if they do something to you, oh well. But you stand behind the choices that you make. And these bitches all got lies and stories about how they didn't do what they did. It's sickening. And another thing, while everybody's so worried about me, you need to be worried about all these motherfucking pedophiles that are in this prison that's going to get out and they're going to be fucking with your children. So that's what you need to be getting out. That's what you need to be doing and working on laws to try to get these pedophiles for life. Because I feel like that right there fucks up a child for life. I've never known that it was so many fucking pedophiles in this world. They got people in here that look sweet as pie, could be your sister, your cousin, your teacher, and they fuck kids. They like children. And they're getting out when 1 to 2 years or 7 years. I don't understand this world. I don't get it. I got this lady who came in with me. She getting out after 8 years and killed her brand new baby. But y'all not fucking with her, but y'all fuck with me. I killed 2 motherfuckers that raped my child. But ain't nobody blogging, ain't nobody talking about or streaming about or giving interviews about the bitch who killed this white lady who killed motherfucking brand new baby out the womb. That was true innocence. A tiny baby. So I don't want to hear no bullshit. I don't give a fuck about nobody's judgment. I still stand behind my choice, which was to kill them. I was not crazy. I was in my right mind. This is just what type of bitch I am.
So,
and ain't nobody gonna make me feel bad about it.
Michelle, did you for 2 years your kids was in this freezer?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Your kids was in this freezer, and you walk past it every day. Did you have any remorse for it or any?
Sometimes I used to open the Sometimes I used to open the freezer up and I used to look at them and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, sometimes I would even look at myself in the mirror like, damn, bitch, you killed 2 of your kids. But I would also get mad at myself like, fuck them. Look what they did to him. And I would look at them like, damn, like, Stoney, why did you do this? Steven, why the fuck did you do this to him? So it's not, there was never no remorse. I just felt fucked up inside. You hear what I'm saying?
Right. How often did you go to the freezer and just sometime would look at them? How often?
Not a lot. You know, one time my son got up and he wanted to sleep with me. And I said, no, go back to your room. And he was crying. I said, what's wrong, Matt? He said, I was thinking about what Steven did to me. And I said, they're dead. You don't got to think about that no more. They're dead. He's like, I know. And I was like, I don't know what else to say to you. Like, it's in the middle of the night. They're dead. He said, I want to slap them. So I did. I took him downstairs, took Steven's dead body out, put it on the floor, and I let my son slap him. Do you know his response is a response of a rape victim? When somebody rapes you, what do women, the first thing they want to do? They want to claw at them. They want to slap them. They want to beat their ass. My child, that little at 6 years old, told me I want to slap him. So you damn right. I'm going to give my baby his closure all across the board. I'm going to give him that because he deserved that.
So
So when I took that by you damn right he slapped him across his frozen ass face. And I put him back in that freezer. And that night he slept with me because I'm not about to just tell you to go get in your own bed after you done slapped your brother's dead body. So it's like I don't know what to do in a situation like that. All I know is I was gonna make him whole.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna say this a crazy bitch, an evil bitch. Call me what you wanna call me. I don't give a fuck. See what your kids want to happen to somebody who fuck on them. I don't care. I really don't. And being in this prison lets me know I make the right decision every day. These sick ass bitches. You can't even put pictures of your kids up because these bitches are pedophiles. They sick. But every pedophile started as a child. So all this innocent shit, the acts that they committed was not innocent. And if you can fuck on your brother 1 minute and then wake up the next morning and look at me all peachy keen like you didn't do nothing, that was some manipulation. That was some fucked up shit. No, that was not innocence. That was some shit telling what the fuck is coming in the future. So I don't give a fuck about nobody's judgment. They can kiss my ass. And I also want to say something to my father. My father, John Blair. You ain't shit. I always wanted to fucking tell you that. How dare you have a funeral for them? You didn't even know their middle names. You just wanted to have a funeral at your church at Greater Grace to make it seem like you was a loving grandfather. Nigga, you wasn't there for me. When I was a kid, when I told your bitch ass that I was raped, what you asked me on the phone? What did your mother say? Told me you was going to call me after work. Never heard from you for almost a year again. So all this bullshit about his bitch ass having that fucking fake ass funeral, they didn't deserve a funeral. But the fact that you fucking gave him a funeral, nigga, and was trying to act like you and Rhonda, your slut ass wife, was ever a part of their lives was fucked up. The only time you came and picked me and my brother up was when you wanted to the show. The only time you can pay me any attention is when you took us to church every once in a while. But every time you picked us up, you had to make sure everybody saw us. Everybody saw us to make it seem like you were a good father. You wasn't shit as a father, and you damn sure wasn't shit as a grandfather. So how dare you have that funeral at your church? I ain't gonna even touch on the fathers, though. Fuck both of them nothing ass niggas.
Yeah, I saw in court when you were in court with the fathers, you lashed out at the fathers.
You damn right, because they wasn't shit. They wasn't shit, period.
But
they know they wasn't shit. So let them get on and do their little fuck interviews and all this. All I know is I could not know that my children were dead for 2.5 fucking years. If I didn't see you, I'm coming, I'm finding you. Something. They wasn't shit. Period. You never gave a fuck about your kids. Period. They liked the idea of having kids. That was it. So fuck both of them.
Yeah,
the fact that they wanted to show up in court and act like they was good fathers and all this, get the fuck out of here.
Now,
let
me ask you this. In the father's defense, they said that they were one of them was trying to come visit, and they were always told that the children was with the auntie or something. Was that true? Or a family member?
Which one are we talking about? The dark-skinned or the light-skinned father?
I believe it was the dark-skinned father, to be exact.
That was a damn lie. He just wasn't never shit. And you know, I regret not doing something to him, because I stopped my kids from going over that house, and he knows this, because my daughter Gabby said, Mom, Duke's father, which is their grandfather, was laying on the floor by their bed when they woke up. So that's why I stopped them from going over their house. Okay? Not to mention that when I was 17, when I was pregnant with Gabby, Duke told me that his father molested his niece, which is Brianna, and that's why they didn't let the father in the house. So as I'm pregnant in their house and saw the father come back, this is why I moved out. This is why when they met to move in, I didn't allow them to go over there anymore when they had the father in there, because you done already said that my baby daddy, Alexander Dorsey, his father already molested one of the little girls there. That's why they never went over there. And if you're going to go there, you're going to be there. He's not going to be there. So it's like it's a lot to unpack. But I ain't even about to go there. But fuck that family because they ain't shit. And fuck Steven also because he wasn't never shit. As soon as I told him, you got to get out, like I put him out, then it was a problem because you couldn't use me no more. You didn't have nowhere to lay your head no more. So then when you left, you forgot your kids too. So fuck them niggas. That was my stance in court. Don't come now. Y'all didn't give a fuck then. Don't give a fuck now.
Do you receive a lot of hate mail?
I don't read it. My JPEG sometimes go crazy. I delete it. Like I say, I delete all interview requests, all that. The only reason I'm on here now is because I want my son to understand how much I love him. But you know, me being in prison, my officer telling me
You have 1 minute remaining.
I got to lock up for 9 o'clock count because I am in prison. So I have to go. But I just want to get some of the things off my chest. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's finish up tomorrow. You and I, we would talk a little bit more. Call me early, and you and I, we would talk off the record and go from there and finish tackling this. Okay?
All right. The
All right.
cap is,
Huh?
I love Matthew to death. That's the cap. I love him.
I'm quite sure Matthew loves you too. And Gabby,
I love Gabby too.
Gabby loves you too. She made it clear that she loves you. Okay.
Well, I know she ain't gonna never speak to me again, and all I can do is just say that I'm just a fucked up human being. But I do apologize for the things that I did to her. But I feel like that's an insult to do that. But I don't know what else to say. But Matthew, that's my heart, especially what happened to him. I know. I still remember he.
Thank you for using GTL.
Family.
If you want to come up here and say what you thought of the first part. This is part one. He did a 2-part series. I'll do the next one tomorrow because it's mentally like it becomes mentally draining because you wouldn't think a mother would do that to her child, and due to the children, not because of that. Kids do stuff, and we all know that. It's kids do stuff, and I understand that she don't want to be judged, but she's passing judgment on people that's in there that are peas. But she has to understand they are being held accountable for their actions. She's being held accountable for her actions. And both of those actions, all those actions of what those people have done, they are being held accountable for. Y'all, this is the man. And how you doing, Mr. Rail? You're welcome. Thank you for letting me use it. Oh my God. Like, even though this is my second time hearing it, it seems like the more and more I hear it, the more and more stuff is just coming. Like, wow, Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel, guys. He does do different interviews with different people and different people that are a part of, I guess, prisoners of different crimes, and he does a good job. Like it's it's a lot to unpack, but I pray God, my thing is, because if we believe in God, then let's just pray that she gets to the place where she is in a reprobate mind and that she's able to fully hold herself accountable for her actions and ask God to forgive her for. Thank you. You are the best because, honey, you just, I felt sorry for you when just watching you just go through it, with her. So if Mr. Whirlpool, Real World, Mr. Rail, if you don't mind, my people want you to grab the link, and I guess they want me to ask to know how you felt, I guess, doing this interview or whatever. Or you can just put it in the chat. I just, my people, we are grateful because, they know I really do my research and I try my best to put out the great content, but it's like, it is very alarming to know what we know that what she did. It's like, it's hopefully I can go to bed tonight and not just think about it. But what do you guys think so far? Like, what do you guys think? The ones that are new, what do you guys think about what we know so far? What was the most craziest thing to me was the floor incident. Like, to know that to know that she used this floor to slit. I'm gonna drop this link right here. Hold on. It's Real World Podcast. Let me write that in. That really kind of made me kind of sick to the stomach because ain't no way I'll be able to do that. There's no way. I'm not, I understand she feel like people judging her and everybody seeing differently, and that's true. We all have to be his link is pinned in the chat. Let me make sure that it's pinned. It should be pinned in the chat, y'all. But that is his link. Y'all can go ahead and go subscribe to his channel right quick. But that is his link. But that was one of the things that really bothered me. And where did you get this sword? Like, where did you get this sword? And it's in. But Gabby is not held responsible because she was under duress. And she was probably afraid if she didn't do it, she was gonna be the next person that, in my opinion, she was going to be the next person that ends up dead or abused. She taught even after Stephen and Stoney died, she was still abusing them. The girl had fresh markings on her. For sure. Them kids had fresh marks on them after the fact, when this was found out. And they had healed marks. Well, I would like to hear from the neighbor, the baby daddy, somebody. And one of the neighbors or something, so we can get more in depth with it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you guys that has subscribed to this channel. We'll do part 2 tomorrow, if you don't mind me doing part 2. And listening in on the rest of it. It gets even worse, but it's her truth. It's her truth. And Gabby gave her truth. Now everybody have to speculate on and come together or try to figure out what is the truth. We do know that the children were abused. And Gabby has said that, and Mitchelle. But the silver lining in it, or we haven't found the silver lining. We don't know for sure that this happened to the young man. But he's a young man now, so y'all, all I can do is y'all just pray for her. Like people like that, y'all that has been traumatized and haven't dealt with whatever trauma they have, man. She was right. They do become a product of their environment. Um, they really do. Um, oh, here you go. Hey, Jayla, put that down. Hey, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
How are you? My people,
I'm
thank
great.
you so much again for letting me use your content because I know they're just a respect thing. But
It's all
everybody
good.
want to know your thoughts, your thought process when you was doing the talk or the interview.
Um, my thought process was I was in shock. I was in like she's not really telling me this. I was like, this is I don't believe that she's saying the things that she was saying, but
Hmm.
I tried to I respect I was always taught when you're giving an interview, you got to learn how to be unbiased,
Hmm.
keep your opinions to yourself,
Hmm.
keep your emotions in check, bite your tongue, and let the subject speak as much as
Right.
possible and say whatever they need to say. And that's what the audience need to hear and give your audience everything, no matter how shocking it is. So
Hmm.
that's what I did. Just let her have the floor. And how I got the interview was it was kind of crazy because I had reached out to her about
Hmm.
2 years ago to
Hmm.
interview her, and she never responded back to the email on JPay. So I was like, okay, it's cool. I ain't think nothing no more of it. And it's an inmate I did a interview with by the name of Tamara Marshall. Tamara Marshall is a young lady who was convicted of 7 murders here in Detroit. The was called the St. Albans Street Massacre back in
Hmm.
1991, and she was only 18 years old when these crimes had happened. So I interviewed her. She gave me an exclusive. No
Hmm.
one, everyone tried to interview her here, the media, radio, cable stations, but no one was able to get her, and I got her. And so she reached out to me one day, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Because anybody I interview, I keep a open line, and they can reach out and call me, whoever it is, because
Hmm.
you got to build relationships. You know what I'm
You
saying?
do.
It doesn't, especially if you're going to be in this business, and I interview inmates. So when I spoke to her, I was like, hey, Michelle Blair, and she was like, I don't really associate with her, but I know her. What's up? And I was like, well, I want to get an interview with her. And she's like, give me a couple of days. I'm going to see her and I'll talk to her and make it happen. So she called me back a few days later. And it was just basically like, hey, she said she don't want to do the interview because her son, he'll be 18 soon, and she feel that he's gonna look for her, and she's being cool and calm in jail, so that's off the table. So I
Hmm.
respected it and moved on. Then comes the interview with her daughter. So I'm watching it one. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is deep. So
Hmm.
my phone is blowing up all that night. My phone on do not disturb, so I'm not getting a call to the next morning. I'm getting pages. Yo, hit Tamara up. Michelle Blair, she want to do an interview with you. So I'm like, whoa, really? So
Hmm.
I emailed Tamara. Tamara called me, and she's like, I'm gonna find her, and I'm gonna tell her to call you. About an
Hmm.
hour later, she was calling, and when I spoke with her, it was instant anger. Instant anger. You just heard the anger in her voice. She was furious about this interview that her daughter done. The conditions was she was like, I want to talk to my son. I want to talk to my daughter. I don't want to be interrupted. Let me talk to my son. She mainly want to talk to her son, say some things to her daughter. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, cool. I give you that, but you're gonna give me something in return. And she was like, what's that? I was like, well, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you're gonna answer these questions as well. And she agreed to it, and that right there is what you got. Part two is gonna be devastating. So I tell everybody right now for part two, um, if you're weak minded or you just can't handle certain things, I advise you not to listen to it because there's things that was not disclosed in court and was not disclosed, through the media, but was in autopsy reports and was in police records that she shared of how she tortured her daughter, how she tortured her son, and it was just awful.
Oh,
It's awful. So we spoke, and this is the killing part about it. Let me say this about Michelle.
mm-hmm.
Michelle, what she did was screwed up. What she did was
Well,
messed up. Does that make her a bad person? No, it doesn't make her a bad person. I've done things in my past, where I pistol whooped people, shot at people. But does that make me a bad person? No. What I did was screwed up, served time for it, and here I am today. So
mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer that all inmates can be rehabilitated.
You
But will
can.
I say, but will I say she could be rehabilitated? No. She's, I thought like I was just kicking it with her off this off record. It's like, look, you're a good person. What you did was messed up, and she acknowledges that. And like I explained to her, like, look, all sins are created equal. The sins I've committed, the sin that you just committed, God look at them and judge them the same. No sin is bigger than and great is greater than the next. It's like I was like, God will forgive you for what you did, but you're gonna have to repent your sin and ask for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And her exact words to me was, I know God, I know God is real, and I'm not gonna play with God. I can't repent. He's not gonna forgive me because I have no remorse and I'm not sorry for what I did. And she said she would do it again. If she had the opportunity to do it, she would do it again.
Okay, but let me ask you this question: do you
Sure.
think that? Because I'm thinking while you're talking. Do you think the reason why she don't have remorse for what she did is because the person that did it to her was never held responsible for it and didn't have any, you know, remorse for doing what they did to her?
I'm glad that you brought that up. Um, she hates the person that did it to her, which was a woman. The woman's name is Niecy Harris.
Okay.
And in part two of my interview, I'm gonna just tell you this much. She was after she killed her two kids. And they were in the refrigerator in the freezer for about a year. She said that she went to Niecy's house, drove to Niecy's house with a 38 revolver and sat in front of Niecy's house
Hmm.
and waited on someone to come out that house because she was going to kill anybody who walked out that house. And she said in her own words was, and I quote, I know I'm going to prison for the rest of my life once they find out what I did to my kids, so why not go all the way out with a bang? Said,
Hmm.
I hate this woman. This woman did this to me, and I'm going to kill her too. But for some reason that day, the Lord wouldn't let nobody walk out that house.
Wow. We'll get into that in part two.
Yeah.
And but I'm thinking that she just went back to what broke her.
I spoke with people over in the King homes where this occurred,
Hmm.
and people were saying that The whole time those kids was in the freezer, Michelle was out partying, getting high, drinking, and
Really?
partying. Yes. So and these are different people that were all saying the same thing. And I happen to know two other people personally, and they were shocked that I did the interview. It was like, wow, you really you did an interview with her, and they just went off into detail of the things that she was doing. And everybody can't be lying on her because a lot of these people don't know each other, but everybody knew her. And they was just saying how she basically, did the girls wrong. The girls used to have to come walk to school because it would be dark. Because here in Detroit, like this time of the year is when it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark as hell out. I mean, dark outside. So she would be passed out sleep, and her kids would be walking to the bus stop. They would have to walk with other people from the complex because it was so dark, and there were young ladies out there by themselves.
Wow. So she just didn't care.
Pretty much, and they were basically just saying, that she really didn't have food a lot of the times in the house. And these are people that were, because in the King's home, everybody is cool with everybody over there, like in the sections. It's a project in Detroit.
Hmm.
So basically, everybody know everybody. Everybody is cool with everybody, and so they all hung out together in that little cluster right there. So everybody knew Michelle. They said Michelle she got drunk, got high, but she was. They said she was nice. She was a nice person. Some of the people said she did have an attitude. They said when she would open her door, she would always peep out the door. She wouldn't open it all the way up. If you knocked on the door or whatever, she would just go peep out the door and say, "Hold on, I'll be out in a minute." And people was always asking, well, where the other kids at? Oh, they with they daddy. So if you don't see the daddy that much never around, but the kids are gone with their fathers, you would think, okay, well, they with their fathers, nothing, nothing new. They going to school over there, better neighborhood. What I didn't understand is why all this torturing was going on because the King homes, the walls are thin. Where was
Right. They
the
didn't hear the kids crying, hollering, nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no one heard that. And the, I'm gonna say this: the Detroit Board of Education,
Failed them.
CPS, in the state of
Failed.
Michigan failed those kids because how is it that two kids can miss school for 2.5 years and no truant officer comes out to the home, nobody does a welfare check on these kids. Um, nobody's going to the doctor, but you're getting you know, health insurance from the state, and they're not going to doctor's appointments, so no one is, where these kids at? Where your kids at? Why they're not in school? Even if you lie and say, oh, they moved out of state to go to school out of state, they still have to transfer those records from Detroit to the new school district they're going to, whether it's public, private,
Mhm.
whatever. They were failed all the way around. So I believe that everybody failed. Everybody failed those kids. Everybody.
Yeah, and what I want to mention while you were saying this, you know, I do remember reading when I was researching everything. There was one teacher that was for stoning. It was a man, it was
Hmm.
a white man. It was her
Hmm.
teacher. He tried,
Okay.
but they said the Department of Education in Michigan said that that kids can miss school, they can be homeschooled. It wasn't their problem,
Well,
basically.
if the kids were being homeschooled, because my daughter was homeschooled for a short period of time,
Hmm.
and there's still a department that you have to go through, and they will get your kids' school records from the school where you being homeschooled, and so they got all the information. So that right there, that's bull crap. Somebody just still didn't want to. Somebody wasn't doing their job.
Basically, because ain't no
Yeah.
way.
I'm gonna
Um,
say not basically. It's just 100%. No one
yeah,
was doing their job.
yeah, 100% true.
So I like I say, I believe Stony. When I saw the thing, I like I said, it's about Stone, not Stony, but Gabby. Please forgive me for the mix up in the names.
You okay, baby?
Gabby, I believed everything that Gabby was saying because Gabby, she was brave to even come out and do that. She didn't have to do it. She was away from the spotlight for 7 years, and I felt that was her that was therapy for her to come out and just tell her side of what really happened, how it happened, and get it off her chest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason Michelle, and another thing I look at is Michelle was upset because she no longer has control over Gabby. And she was not only that, the smallest thing that made her really, do you really know what made her want to do the interview? Because what made her really want to do the interview was because in the interview, she brought it up that Gabby would only mention Stoney and Steven by name. But when it came to Matthew, who she calls Maddie, she would mention Maddie as her little brother, would never say him by name. And that had her pissed. That she was very pissed. She was pissed off about that.
But I would feel like she's trying to protect him in a way.
I would say the same thing. Yeah, if you heard her talking to him, it's self evident that that's what she was doing. She was just like, this is she told you this was her favorite child out of all of them. And then, like some people were saying, well, she hated their fathers. I was like, well, now how is that possible? Because Gabby and Stoney had the same father. Maddie and Steven, they got the same father. So how could she hate the fathers and kill one of each of their child, one boy, one girl,
mm-hmm.
and leave one boy, one girl alive? So, how is it that she hate them? No, it was basically, I believe in her mind, she really believed that those kids were doing that to the boy, but it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Come on now.
Like, what was crazy to me was the little socks. But
exactly, I said the same thing. The socks.
I'm like, well, why would they put a but I was like, this is her. I understand you said this is her story. So
that's her truth. I learned to always never say a story because a story is just that, a story, which is a lie, and your truth is your truth. And
right,
this is her. That was her truth.
Right.
And do I agree with her truth? No. And I even asked her. I was like, if all of this was going on, Michelle, why didn't you just turn those two children over to CPS? Let them go to CPS so they can put them in a home. And her exact words was like, F that. Why would I wasn't going to do that because CPS was going to deal with them with baby gloves. And baby gloves, what they say. Right, exactly. But in her mind, it's going to deal with them baby gloves, give them some therapy and, don't punish them. She wanted justice. She wanted blood. She wanted blood for Maddie. She always asked, where was Maddie's justice? I had to give Maddie his justice. That was just her thing. She felt that she was giving Maddie justice.
But this is the crazy thing. With, the same thing that she said that CPS would have done for Stoney and Steven, that's what they did for Gabby and Matt. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
Well, like I say, this was something that she just in her mind. I honestly believe that Michelle is, maybe schizophrenia. She may have some issues, and is not getting the help that she needs, the proper help she needs.
Do they offer that in prison, like therapy? Do they offer therapy or
yes they do, and medication for it. Michelle has stabbed 3 people. In the interview, she said, well, I done stabbed B's for mentioning my kid's name. And so I'm like, Michelle, how many people have you stabbed? And she said, I stabbed 3 people for mentioning my kid's name.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got to do a fact check on that. So I, JP, a couple of the ladies that I know up there who I've interviewed personally, was like, yo, Did Michelle Blair stab anybody up there? And they all, yes, she stabbed 3 people. She stabbed an old white lady. She stabbed another white lady who was no threat to nobody, and a short, small black lady that was no threat to nobody. They pretty much, they all say she know who to act up on, and she know who not to act up on. It was a stud, uh, a young lady who identified as a male. They said beat the brakes off of her in prison, and I'm like, why she's there? So anybody who tell you that Michelle, anybody fears her in prison is a lie. Anybody who comes and tell you that Michelle is running prison is a lie. Anybody tell you that nobody bothers with her because of fear, that is a lie.
And you know what? You remember we had this off record conversation about that person.
Yeah.
She said that it was like little patty cakes around there. They can verify, my people can verify that this lady came on here yesterday, and I have put it on private, and I have deleted it. I'm going to probably delete it. Did you check on that? Was
yeah. I'm waiting on some emails to come back, because for some reason on Saturday and Sunday it takes a little bit longer for them to get the emails for some odd reason. I don't know why, but it does. But I'm quite sure it's not going to be true. But like I said, when I verify it, I will shoot that information over to you.
Okay, if you listening, sweetheart. That's all I'm gonna say. Because she told us that Michelle was up there. She was telling me that Michelle had got a whole TV. She in maximum 4 when she was in Max with her. The 23 hours.
I'm on
whole TV.
Like I said, I'm not gonna crap on Michelle, because I think Michelle is a decent person when the cameras is off and it's just you and her talking behind. When you just talking to Michelle off and there's no one around, as you and her, she's actually a calm person, and she cares about what everybody think about her. And she's that person that wow, this motherfucker really need a hug, or need a best friend, or need somebody that can talk to them and tell them, hey, that's wrong what you're doing. You don't do that.
Right.
And if she get those type of people around her, I think she could become a better person and rehabilitate, possibly in prison. But Michelle, that I know of incidents from very credible people that are in Huron Valley, because Michigan only has 1 prison for women. And I can count from different women that Michelle was hit in the head by an inmate with a padlock, and the inmate, they had to separate them and put her on another side and Michelle on another side, because Michelle threatened to kill the young lady. And then the incident that I know of about the young lady who identified as male, they say beat the brakes off Michelle. Now, I would never personally ask Michelle any of this, because Michelle is the type of person that if she feels that you're going against her, she'll shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a conversation, and the day after the interview, and like I said, we just talking, and I was just trying to give her encouragement of, how you need to talk to God, you need to ask for forgiveness, read your Bible, talk to him, and repent on what you did to those babies, because you're gonna have to see when you die, and you in prison. You can die tomorrow. Somebody can, brutally beat you down in there, shank you up or whatever, and the COs is not going to do anything about it. You need to repent and mean everything you say. And I'm kicking it with her like that. And she, like I say, she wasn't trying to hear really none of that. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to speak bad on her or negative on her, or just, try to bash her or any of that nature. But like I said, we was having a conversation, and she was like, bro, do you know, Mom, after we did the interview, all type of YouTubers and podcasters have been hitting me up on JPay, and I deleted all their messages. She's like, I need you to give them a message for me on your show. I was like, well, what's the message? You tell everybody that I'm only interviewing with you. I'm not. Everybody has put the stamp on you in here and said, you know how you to be trusted. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't screw nobody over in here when you did the interview, and I'm only dealing with you on interviews. And I was like, well, I can do that, but it'd be better if it came from your voice. She's like,
Right.
well, hook your equipment up. Let's do it right now. She was eager, and I was like, well, no, Michelle, let's just rest for a couple of days because after 2 days of that, I couldn't go into I couldn't go into a third day. I couldn't go. And if you see at part two, I had to pray before we did that interview. I had to pray before, and before several times that I had to pray before and then prayed after the interview. And as you can see, going into part two, I don't have the hoodie on. I got to have I'm just talking to her. Because now I filled her out over the phone, but now I'm comfortable, a little bit more comfortable with it now because now I know that she's trying to have a relationship with God. She does believe in God, and she just lost. So I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with her now. But when she was still going through those stories, I'm like, man, yo, I couldn't. And then like a couple of my homies was like, I saw your eyes was glossy. You was about to cry. I'm like, man, I'm human. Yeah, I was about to cry. I felt sorry for those kids. I felt
Exactly.
sorry. Yeah, I'm about to cry because I got a granddaughter. This 5 years old, and I'm like, damn, I couldn't. Me personally, I'm looking at like I told somebody if that was happened to my granddaughter, I would call all my people and say, look, don't nobody come to court to this day because I'm going to court with C4 strapped on me, and I'm gonna get to that person and I'm gonna blow them up with me.
Oh,
We go,
Jesus.
we going out because you did this to my grandchild or no, that's just that's how I look at it. But the fathers, I felt sorry for both of those dudes. And the city, the state of Michigan, and everybody have you now notice. I want you to notice. There's nowhere in history that the state has went in that quick to terminate a father's parental rights.
Mm-hmm.
That quick, the way that they did those men. You know why they did that to those men? Because they know that those men had a lawsuit and the men was going to end up suing the state of Michigan. And they was like, we finna wipe these dudes off, take away their parental rights, put the kids somewhere else, and we're not going to get sued.
Wow.
Yeah, because they know they screwed up. The state know they screwed up. So we gotta cover our butts.
Mm-hmm. Now,
But
somebody does have a question. Do you know what type of street drug she was on?
marijuana. Everybody said that she smoked a lot of marijuana and drunk Mohawk liquor. And she herself even said that she drunk Mohawk liquor.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know what Mohawk is, that's the most rot gut vodka, the cheapest vodka that you can find for probably $2.99 a pint.
Oh,
For real, yes.
she got that liquor to get you drunk. She didn't want to think
Yeah,
about it. She did
yeah.
not
The
want to think
stuff
about it.
that Mohawk. Listen, Mohawk make you violent. It makes you want to fight. It's cheap vodka. It makes you that Nikolai vodka. That stuff. Hey, when them drunks drink that stuff, they be ready to fight. It makes you violent.
No. So someone want to ask, how do you decompress after, you do several interviews, but after this specific interview, how did you decompress and not let it affect you as much as, other people who should have?
Prayer, shower, and hug my family and kiss my family.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Now, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
made calm me down. What got me calm from that. Like, wow, like if you saw in the interview, right, my granddaughter crept in
Mhm.
in
I
the
see
interview
y'all.
because
Oh, baby, you don't need to be hearing that.
yeah, so she crept and I instantly you got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because usually when I'm setting up, she comes down and she plays with the microphone and get to pushing all the buttons up on the mixing board and everything, and I have to go right back and reset everything up. So yeah, like I'm just looking like that's how I keep my sanity with that.
Okay.
Like off for her for 1 minute, I did an interview with a young man by the name of Adam Matos.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Matos is out of Florida. He's a young man. He killed his ex-girlfriend, her new boyfriend, the ex-girlfriend's mother and father, lived in the house with all 4 dead bodies for 6 days, rotten and stinking, and ordering pizza on the dead mother's credit card, selling their stuff out the house. People was coming to the house smelling the dead bodies. And on the 6th day, he said he couldn't take it no more. He loaded all of them up in the mother's minivan and drove and dropped them off in a wide open field. Yes, that was him. I wanted to drink behind that. I don't even drink. I wanted to drink for real like that. But the interviews I do, let me just clear this up with your audience.
Go ahead.
I do these interviews is because I myself was locked up. Everything that inmates does not. When you watch a crime show, right? You only hear from the police. You only hear from the prosecuting attorney, and you hear from the victim side of the family.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to take a different approach because everything that's dealing with the police is guesswork. So I wanted to bring the actual inmates in themselves and tell their side in their own words, their own voice, and let them bring it to the people and say, hey, this is what happened. This is how it happened. Because you get a lot of YouTubers, no disrespect to no YouTuber and no podcaster, but a lot of YouTubers and podcasters, they go off of news clips and they read the story of what was said in the media. And I said I didn't want to do that. That was corny. I wanted to go directly to the people because I was once where a lot of these people are now, and I know how to walk the walk and talk the talk with them. So that's why a lot of them feel real comfortable talking to me and just like, hey, opening up when we talk, we laugh a little bit, talk like, hey, because I get them, they're comfortable with me. So I like when I saw you, right, after you reached out, I was like, okay, this young lady, she seemed to be doing it the organic way. So if I can help her, that's why I said, hey, take my interview and do your response with it. Do that because there's people. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, you more than welcome. There's people who took interviews of mine and did that without my permission. I strike them all the time. Like, we ain't gonna do that. But I told you and I gave you permission. Like, hey, take this and get you some people. You know what I'm saying? Because right now she's a hot topic, and my audience come your way, your audience come my way, and I tell all YouTubers, hey, we got to work together and we grow each other.
Right, and that's how it's supposed to be, and I have people that I connected with, and I try to do my research. I try to really, I be trying to find your mama, sister, cousin in them. I really do.
Wow.
I really don't, I just get the looking in comments, and then I get the researching on the internet. When I came across those documents on Lipstick Alley, I was like, these certified documents, how y'all got them?
Right. Because what it is when that case was open, a lot of those documents became open to the court, so they're public information now. They may be heavily redacted like they are, but they're open. Anyone can get them now because of the court case.
Okay. This is another question. What is one of the interviews that you think everyone should look at besides Mitchelle? I know it because I've been watching it. I enjoyed it too. You did good on that one too. I know. I'm thankful.
I'm gonna say, I got a lot of the ones I'm gonna recommend. that you go check out. Go check out Tomorrow Marshall, the St. Albans Street Massacre, the Adam Matos. But my most favorable, I'm mad about it, is Samuel Little. His
I ain't
interview. I did his interview. Samuel Little. Let me explain Samuel Little to you. Samuel Little has never gave a podcast or a YouTuber interview. But when I sat down and he and I, we chopped it up, it was like, I'm like, this is a sick motherfucker, but I gotta sit down here and talk with him, So I'm talking the jailhouse talk with him and kicking it. Yo, you was locked up. Yeah, man. Where you come from? I was there, And I'm like, but I'm wondering where you are in the state you in here in Michigan. Oh, okay. Okay, and talking about the food and talking about the conversation. He's like, yeah, man, look, man, could you help me out? I ain't got no money on my books. I was like, what you need? Let me put a few dollars on your commissary, right? So I put $20 on this commissary. He called me back the next day, like we was like friends, and so we was so we started talking and doing the little pieces of the interview, right? And he didn't call me back, right? And I'm like, oh, he's the old timer, we did about 15 minutes or something, like not even about 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay, he got down for 20 minutes, so I'm not gonna release this interview. It ain't, it's not enough time in it to release it, right? So I get a call from him. And he's like, hey, how you doing? Man, I'm sick. I've been in the hospital. I'm sick. We're going to finish this interview after I get well. And he sounded sickly. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to pray that you get well, Sam, and I hope everything is all good for you, right? And he's like, yeah, don't worry. We're going to knock out this interview when I get better. I'm like, okay, cool. I get a call from someone that was like, Terrell. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, well, Sam had you down as one of the people who called. He passed away. I'm like, what? I'm like, And then it was later on that day, it was on the news. And I regret myself for not really taking the time that I should have took with Sam, because he was calling me. And a lot of days I wasn't ready. And we was just holding conversations. And I regret not, getting a lot of that stuff. So I just told myself from now on, that was a big mistake of mine, and it'll never happen again.
Right.
Because everything I get is exclusive. I got exclusive interviews that him, the Michelle Blair, the St. Albans Street Massacre interview. It's a few of them, But I recommend everybody just go back. It's a young lady. I did. Oh my God. Her name was Delilah Evans. Delilah Evans was a young lady that on Christmas morning she killed her mother. She stabbed her 122 times. Yeah, and she don't need to be in prison. She needs to be in some type of psychiatric ward. Trust me. If you guys go listen to that interview, you will understand that she does not need to be in prison.
Do you not think that Mitchelle needs to be? Do you think she needs to be in prison or in a psychiatric? Needs to be in psychiatric.
I think Michelle needs some psychiatric help. She needs to be heavily medicated, and she needs to stay in prison.
Oh, okay. So give her the medicine, but you need to stay where you at.
Yeah, she needs to be in prison, and the reason why I say she needs to stay in prison, because I think Michelle out here and unsupervised, she would stop taking her medication, and she probably would try to go and kill her daughter, or her daughter would have to kill her. It will be one of those situations.
You true. I wonder, did you ask her what made her automatically not take it to trial and just say, "I'll just take life in prison"?
She didn't want her daughter and her family to go through that. So obviously she was in her right state of mind, because she already, I asked that, and she said that. Matter of fact, I think it's in part 2. She said, yeah, it's in part 2, because I did 1 and 2. But she clearly stated, she didn't want her kids to go through that. Like her father can't stand him. She hates this man with a passion. Her brother hate her brother with a passion. Her mama can't stand her mama with a passion.
She gonna have to work on forgiveness.
Yeah, her mother's deceased, and her father and brother is still living. So yeah, she oh my God, she
Do
has a few choice words for her father.
huh?
I said she had a few choice words for her father in the interview. Part two, she had a few choice words for her father.
I know. I heard
And
them. I was like, Lord, it's just getting worse and worse by the minute.
and I think she had her baby daddy. She just went off on them. Oh my God, I was like these poor dudes. I'm like wow. She just she's no filter. She has no filter at all. She's gonna speak her. Michelle is an inmate that's gonna speak her mind and don't give a care about it. Don't care.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm like, wow, are you just gonna have a little filter? And what I think is gonna happen to Michelle, um, I think Michelle is gonna get older. When she get old, and she's gonna get to hearing about grandchildren out there, and then that's when she's gonna wake up and realize what she did was wrong, and it's too late. It is too late. Her son Maddie, from my understanding, he wants a relationship with his mother. He wants that relationship with her, and it's just he's young. He was like I say, that's all he knew was mama. And he lost his mom at a young age. At what? Let's see, they were in the freeze. He lost his mom at 8 years old, and a child at that time they latched on to their mother. He done latched on now. He's 8 years old, and he's the favorite, and she's showing him more favoritism than the others. Like it was one thing, like in the interview when she said that Maddie came in her room one night, couldn't sleep, and he said, "Mama, I can't sleep." You know, he thinking about what his brothers and them did, what his brother did to him. And she said that she told him, Maddie, go to sleep. He dead. He can't do nothing to you. And she's telling this little boy, he's dead. He can't do nothing to you. And Maddie allegedly said, well, yeah, mama, but I just want to slap him. And she was like, you want to slap him? And she said, calmly, she walked downstairs to the freezer, the deep freezer, pulled Steven's dead body out of this deep freezer and laid him on the floor for his brother to slap him.
How you gonna
Then
slap a whole dead body?
Yeah, this is what happened. So she said after he slapped him or whatever, she put him back in the freezer and brought Maddie up to her and let him sleep in her room bed with her because she didn't want to send him back to bed after that. So I was that like it was like, wow, did she really just say she did this? This is gonna mess this little boy up. This is gonna hurt this little boy in the long run. Like this little boy right now could possibly be screwed up. Like cause he know what he at 6 years old. I remember one time, this was no lie. Kids have sharp memories. I remember when my granddaughter was 2 years old. I shaved my whole beard and mustache off because I was retraining it, to brushing it, to lay back down and stuff, right? My granddaughter was 2 years old and gave me a look like, who the hell is you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a couple months ago, we was sitting up, we was talking, and my granddaughter brought that up. She's like, I remember you shaved your beard off, and I was looking at you like you was crazy. Like, I don't know this man. And I'm like, wait a minute, she was 2 years old. How does she remember that at 2? So I know she remembered that at 2 years old. This little boy was 6.5. 6 years old when you killed his brother and sister. He remembers that. He's gonna remember that.
But
It's
what if
probably
he?
like
But what if
it's
he?
probably weighing heavy. It's probably weighing heavy on him right now, and we don't know it. Seriously.
What, that his brother and sister died, and he could possibly be the cause of it?
Well, there ain't no possibly to it. He was the cause of it because of what was said. That is why she killed him.
So he'll have. That's crazy to a child to carry that kind of gift around for
Yeah.
my mom and her crazy feelings that
Mm-hmm.
or trauma that she's trying to project on me or say
Right.
that this happened to me, and so now my brother and sister got to die.
Most definitely. Like, just say, okay, for instance, me and you, we the best of friends. Just say I've known you for 25, 30 years, right?
Mhm.
And I tell a lie on you that I know that can get you killed. And to your boyfriend or whatever, like, yeah, man, Monica did this, woo, woo. And I know it's a lie. I'm mad at you. But I'm going to tell your boyfriend you did this and he beat and kill you. God forbid that to never happen. I'm a grown ass man. And that happened, and I know I'm the cause. I'm going to feel guilty as hell that whoa, I just got this woman killed for no reason. So he's a kid. So just imagine how that makes him feel. That like, wow, it's my fault that my brother and sister ain't here no more.
Wow, that's some heavy, heavy, heavy stuff.
Most definitely.
That's some heavy stuff. You have anything else you would like to say? Because I'm probably it's about 2 hours in. I know it's about time for everybody tired.
Well, no, I just want to thank you first of all
Mm-hmm.
for allowing me as a guest in your home. And I want to thank your audience and your mods. You got some great mods. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. I thank you guys for allowing me as a guest in as well. And hey, I just want to tell everybody, hey, let's keep it going, become one big family. Y'all come over and subscribe to Real World Podcast, and I can guarantee you guys, I'm going to give you some of the best and great content that I only know how to give. And I guarantee you guys will not be disappointed. And at any given time, like I told you earlier, anything that I have and you feel the need to say, hey, I wanna take a stab at that. You know, you got my blessing. I'm giving you my blessing to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're more than welcome. So thank you, and I'm out of here. Good night,
right,
everybody. Do anybody else got anything they else want to ask before I dip?
Anybody got any questions? Any questions? They said thank you for coming. They like for people to come on and talk.
It's all good.
But
Hey,
I
come
don't
back
think nobody else
anytime you
had a
want
question.
me.
Oh, they did want to know how old is the little boy now?
He's in high school now, so he has to be about what, 14? About what, 14?
Okay. Well, I guess
13, 14. Yeah, he's about 13, 14 now.
when he
He's in
get
school.
18, 19, I have a feeling that maybe somebody said, "Are you married? Are you married?"
To Real World Podcast. Yes, to Real World Podcast. to Real World Podcast. To Real World Podcast. Yes. Yes, Real World Podcast. Yes. That's right now. That's where my time and effort is in that, plus my business. So sometimes that's why I fall off of YouTube for me, because I have a legit business that I have to run as well. So podcast, I try to put it to the side and get to it. But hey, I'm flattered. Thank you all.
He said he was flattered.
Detroit, we take care of business here in Detroit. We make stuff happen, and we like I say, we just try to give everybody what they want.
Look in the comment section right quick.
What did they say?
Look, you'll
Hold
see it pop
on.
up on the screen. Asking for
Hold
a
on.
screen, y'all.
Hold on. Let me put these readers on. Okay, it says. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, all right, friend. I understand.
But thank you so much for watching. For that start running out. You have
all good.
all right.
You
have a
too.
good
Thank
night.
you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. You
Bye.
too. All right.
All right, y'all. That was it, y'all. It's 2 hours in. I done overdid it. I didn't supposed to be here this long. But thank y'all so much for watching. Tomorrow we will do part 2. We're gonna do part 2. And y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. We're gonna try to go live about 7 so I can go and get it out the way. Yeah, she talking about so you're welcome. Good night, y'all. It was. Thank y'all.